Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video. So before we get into today's discussion video, I want to mention that the gameplay in the background is me running probably the most hated build in Dead by Daylight, which is of course going to be Iridescent Head, Infantry Belt, Ebony Mori Huntress. This entire build just screams the words toxicity, so please ignore it for me being toxic in this video, because I was being toxic on purpose just to show you the sheer power of today's topic, which will be, of course, Moris. So let's go over the three Moris that are in the game, and keep in mind these have been in the game since day one. So coming in with the lowest rarity as an uncommon is the Cypress Memento Mori. This grants the killer the ability to kill the last survivor in a trial. So what this means is you can kill the first three survivors, and then the last survivor, whether they've been hooked or not, will be able to be moried. The next one coming up at rare is the Ivory Memento Mori. This grants the killer the ability to kill one survivor who has been hooked at least once in the trial. And finally, we have the Ebony Mori, which is probably the most hated thing in Dead by Daylight. This allows you to kill all survivors who have been hooked at least once in a trial. So let's go ahead and discuss the unfairness of these. I think the Cypress is fine. The only time that I think that the Cypress Memento Mori will ever be unfair is if you ignore one person for the entire duration of the trial and then only focus them once the other three are dead to Mori them. That's the only time that I think it could ever be unfair, and even then it's not that bad, because if it's just, I don't think it's that unfair. I think the Cypress is fine and should be left alone. The Ivory, however, does need a change. It is the fact that, okay, let's go into the situation where you find a survivor and down them within the first 30 seconds of the match. Very, very fast. Let's say you're Hillbilly or something, and you get a really good chainsaw because they're in a bad situation. You hook them, and then let's say that you proxy camp them. They get saved. You wait maybe 15 seconds for borrowed time, slap them onto the ground again, and then you Mori them. They had not a single chance to defend themselves or to do anything contributing to that match. They did absolutely nothing. They're going to get no blood points. They're going to pip down, all because the killer brought a rare offering. And it's extremely unfair. And next up we have the Ivory's big brother, the Ebony. The Ebony Memento Mori is, again, like I said, probably the most hated thing. If not, probably it's definitely. I'd only say that Iridescent Head Huntress is the only other thing hated. And I put both of them together in today's video, so it's just like even more toxicity. But what I was talking about is, exactly what I said with the Ivory, how you just kind of camp people. You could do the exact same thing except for all the survivors. The last two survivors, what you could do is you could hook one, let them get saved, go after the unhooker, and then once you down the unhooker, you then hook them. You proxy camp. As soon as they get unhooked by the other person, you down the unhooker again. This is the second time, and then you slug them and go for the person that just got unhooked, put them onto the ground, and let's say you ran Deerstalk or something like that, so now you have the last two survivors on the ground, and then you can just go ahead and Mori them. Every survivor in that trial would have been Moried off first hook, and they couldn't do anything. There's absolutely nothing they can do. Moris literally have no counterplay to them. The only way to counter Moris, and this is only for literally a second, the first two, the Ivory and Memento, the only way would probably to have DS or have borrowed time, because at least with those two, DS you can make it to a locker and waste time, or use DS because you should be able to use it before they can drop you, and then borrowed time will just give you 15 seconds of invulnerability, and if you pair them, then you can definitely make it to a locker. So I'm going to list some changes that I think would be good. So again, for the Cypress, I don't think it needs any change. I think it's fine. For the ivory, I would recommend that they change it to where you can kill one survivor, but only after they have been saved from the struggle state, and that's it. They can't be hooked at least once. I mean, they can be hooked at least once, but they have to be saved from the struggle state, which means that the next time that they are hooked, of course, they will be dead on hook, so it won't really matter. And I think that they need to make it to where you cannot moor the survivor 60 seconds after getting unhooked. Now, the last part you may not have to do. It's going to save the killer some time if he moors straight off of, the struggle state, which is still going to be unfair, and that's why I'm saying the 60 seconds thing. The 60-second thing is optional. You can or can't use it. That's just my opinion. And then the ivory, I recommend doing the exact same thing for it, except with every survivor, or you could do it to where you can mori two survivors, or maybe you can, it basically takes the place of the old ivory to where you can just mori one survivor off the hook. It would make it to where it's still unfair, but not as unfair, because the Ebony Memento Mori is an ultra rare offering, and with that rarity, it needs to be powerful, yet it can't be unfair in its power, I guess you would say. So it's something that they would really have to experiment with. I don't really know a change for the ebony. Like I said, you could copy what I did with the new change for the ivory and just make it to where all 4 survivors, or you could just make it to where you can mori one like the old ivory, the one that's in the game right now when I didn't mention it. There's just a bunch of things that you could do, but the reason I'm making this discussion video is because, like I said, in the footage, you'll see how unfair this build is, and I'm not even a good huntress. I'm not good at all. I can't really hit shots, I don't know mind games, and these survivors can't do anything against it. There's nothing they can do. Like, Huntress has complete range, and especially with Iridescent Head. And then with Infantry Belt, I get 2 extra shots, and then the Ebony Mori, it's horrible. It's so bad to go up against, because you can completely shut down teams within a matter of seconds. That's why I'm bringing this video to light. I also wanted to mention really quickly that I have been on the survivor end of this. I have been on I've been on the survivor side of this. I have been on the receiving end of this, so I know for a fact how unfair it is. I'm not just saying this and you're like, oh, well, he's just using this as a kill, or maybe he's lying, or something like that. I've been on this other side, and I wanted to bring this to light. So I hope they do change it. I know a lot of people hate Moris, and they do want them to be changed. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit now, so I'm going to end the video. If you guys did enjoy it, please go ahead and leave a like. And if you're enjoying the content that I'm now making, go ahead and click that subscribe button, because that helps a lot and encourages me to make more videos like this. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.